now I reviewed Only Murders in the Building Season 1, which was sometime last year. This is Steve Martin Short, what's her name? Selena Gomez. Yeah, Selena Gomez walking around doing a whodunit with a podcast with like a mystery being solved and everything. The way season 1 ended let you know that there was a season 2 coming. This is the season 2, 10 episodes. I haven't seen any of them, but Holly, you've picked up the slack. You've seen them. Tell us about Only Murders in the Building season 2.
So we begin with,
as spoiler free as possible.
As spoiler free as possible. We begin with, I think this is probably not giving away too much, a murder in the building. I think we're probably good with that. A resident of the building we saw at the end of the last series had been found by Selena Gomez somewhere unexpected, very much dying in somewhat mystifying circumstances.
And this is one of these old school like New York apartment buildings, like you can imagine was probably built with the Rockefellers in like the 20s or something.
And you actually, in this one, you get some of the history of the building and where it's come from, as this adds some of the twists and turns to it. So the principle is they continue their podcast of Only Murders in the Building, which is offset with Only Murderers in the Building being the other podcast.
That sounds interesting.
It's another podcast done by a Tina Fey character that's making a podcast about these guys making a podcast.
Oh my God. It has a touch of fourth wallness to it in itself, I suppose. So they go off and investigate this, and it becomes apparent to them that too many things seem to be pointing towards their involvement in the latest murder, and they can't understand why this would be the case and who or why is setting them up, and they are being set up. Along the way, we continue with Martin Short, who is a former director, supporting his son, who is directing a school play, insofar as I can remember. And Steve Martin returning to his, as a retired actor, returning to his previous character, Bravo. The detective, where, and I think I'm going to risk giving this bit away, it turns out in the reboot he is not the main character. And it gets even better, I think, and I'm going to chance this giveaway. He has dementia and is in a wheelchair. So his return to the screen has not gone quite as he would want. And Selena Gomez is an artist, and she is branching out into her art and in meeting new people within the art world. And you have these three sort of personal storylines that are running along their ongoing investigation into who committed the murder and why they're being framed. It is an absolutely delightful program to watch. I don't have a better word than delightful. The characters are a treat. The wider cast and all of the characters who live in the building are a joy. They're all quirky and likable and loathable simultaneously. And you just, at the end of each episode, it just makes you smile. It has brought me great joy watching it, and I think it's left open enough that there is a possibility of another series.
Oh, there's definitely another series. It's been announced. It's been announced that there's probably there's going to be a season 3 and possibly a season 4.
Oh.
So essentially, all they're saying is don't live in this building. Don't live in this building. It's a bit like Murder, She Wrote, where there's Jessica Fletcher. Did she kill all those people? But it's like
Midsummer. Don't live in Midsummer.
That's it. I was going to say,
Yeah,
there's people. The thing is, I used to say this like Christmas. I know this is a thing, but it's like EastEnders. There's so much misery and grief that goes on in that place. Why on earth would you? You'd want to get out of there, wouldn't you?
I always used to think with EastEnders, every Christmas somebody dies. Every
It was, it's just like, oh, not that I ever watched it, but the couple I did see, but always just seemed doom and gloom and horrible stuff, and I'd be like, I want to get the hell out of there.
Yeah, get out of Walford. So okay, so Only Murders in the Building. I mean, I think you're pretty much saying a lot of the stuff that I said with season 1.
Yeah.
And I think it is. This seems like Martin Short and Steve Martin, and those two they're like friends. They've been friends forever, and it feels like this is old school Hollywood people getting together and having fun in the best possible way.
Yes.
Because I mean, often we always talk about sometimes the Hollywood gets together and they do stuff, but it feels really self-indulgent, like they're in on the joke and nobody else is. But I feel like this is them, everybody bringing along everyone for. I mean, this is me talking about season 1 and just my feelings about the show in general. And it's great to hear that it sounds like they're carried out into season 2. But importantly, this has to come down to hard maths. Enough about fuzzy feelings. How many stars?
I'm giving it 4.
A 4 for Only Murders in the Building season 2.
I would love to give it 5, but I think that would probably be unfair, but I can't quite explain why.
Yeah,
I feel like it needs to be a 4, but it is still one of my favorite things.
I mean,
so happy.
The truth is that it's kind of like it's like an Agatha Christie sort of homage, quite frankly. It's an Agatha. I think every single murder trope. This you can tell this is a show that's made by people that love murder mysteries. They love murder mysteries. They know what's silly about them. They know what's great about them, and it's like a homage to it. So I always find it very hard to give an homage a 5 because, well, if Agatha Christie hadn't written anything, you wouldn't have anything to do to homage. But it's But I think I kind of understand what you're talking about there.
It's a delight. It's a film of people a series of people who are clearly happy to be doing it and are enjoying doing it.
Yep. All right.
And that's a joy to watch.
All right, and now let us